Hey, how you doing? So we're on our basic normal mapping adventure still at the moment. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select just this right toe here. Now it's not properly lined up, but I'm going to unhide all. Sorry, hide unselected, not unhide all. And this means I can now line these pieces up. I'm pretty sure it's probably the low poly toe that isn't lined up, so let's just line that up. If you're not sure if it's lined up or not, just use this. Click OK, and that should line them up. Right, first things first then. Let's isolate this, and then we can have a good look at it and see what horrible tries and bugs we can find in it. And already I can see a few, including this one here. And it is pretty rough, so let's smooth this in a bit. Problem with that is that we've got all sorts of things needing to be fixed over here as well. Let's just put an edge through here. Quick connect. That means I can now grab here and bring this out a bit, which does make a nice difference. Right, so what I can do is, potentially bridge the two caps. If I just put a cap on there straight, that hasn't really capped it to my satisfaction, to be honest. I was thinking more bridging rather than capping. There we go. If I put that on, you can see it kind of does that, which is very, very messy. The problem is that this piece here doesn't actually line up to anything, and I think, rather like the other time on the toe, it'd be better to get rid of this rather than risk it ruining the model. It's one of those times when it's worth sacrificing a piece for the good of the rest of the model. And I'm going to place a cut from about here to here to here. Reason being, that if I do that, then I can run up these pieces here. And while there will be a minor crease, it's one that there should be rather than there shouldn't be. Sorry if that sounds like absolute bollocks, but sometimes apart from the word phalangification, which is the most awesome word in the world, there's not a lot you can say. And please do use the word phalangification as often as you can in 3D conversation. It'll show that you're clever and paying attention. Okay. Now here you see that kind of brown horrible staining. Means it has decided that this is a problem after all. So rather than looping, I'll ring it. Deselect this one. And that one. Backspace, backspace. Ring. Right, now we can presumably stick a nice new smooth onto this. That's better. These corner parts are messy. There's no doubt about that. Let's see if I can smooth these out some more manually. I remember I was doing this in the modeling section as well. Okay. Look at this shape. Looks like a chocolate mist shape, doesn't it? If you ever had one of those or not. Still a minor improvement over what it was, I suppose. and get rid of this one. Okay, just line this up a bit better here. It's a shame that we have to actually go back literally into the whole kind of modelling flow again, but sometimes you have to, unfortunately. Okay. Slightly better as a corner. Still messy as hell, but there we go. Let's see if I can just relax these polys a little bit. Slightly better. Yeah, that is slightly better. No, that's too much. That's going to create artifacts there. We'll avoid that. Okay, convert editable poly. Now let's have a look on the inside of here. As I try not to swallow my own tongue. Okay. Delete all that. But why, Chris? Well, simple. Because I want to. Now I need to rebridge this part because I'm a bit of a numpty. I love the word numpty. Very underused. Numpty flangification. There's a good word. Okay, much less, much less, much less. Slight twist up here. By slight, I mean very heavy. I think I can probably get around that if I delete here and here. Oh god, so much modelling. Okay, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I'll take off this one and put it on down here. And cap off the rest. Have a look at this shape now. Slightly better. Still a bit of an artifact going on up here. See if we can just take this out because it's not really doing us any favours. Slightly better. Okay, let's apply smooth to this again. I change my parameters depending on what I think is going to work better at the time. You can see there a bit of browning going on just here. That's the fault of these all kind of mixing up here. And we've also got these funky little fellows here, so just cap this off. Got this brown piece here. Just a bit of a twist. Okay. Still a couple of minor blemishes, though not as many. this one here could do with running a cut, probably to about there. That's better. There's one there. And it's because I put this inset piece basically in here. I should have just used the old shaped foot if you ask me, but never mind. I suppose you did ask me at the time, really, didn't you? It's my job to tell you. There, you can see where the problems lie. Shouldn't have this crossover, certainly. Which means there's probably a... oh no, got rid of that, that's good. I want to make sure there wasn't a dead vert in the middle. Right, we've got these verts in here, which I'm going to have to zoom in and manually remove. I can't just marquee them because you know what marquee's like, it won't work. You can see some minor differences in the way that it moves when I'm cutting them through here. I don't think there's any cut through on the other side. No, there isn't. Okay, let's clean that up a bit, although we need to recap this now. And there's some sort of a crossover line here that shouldn't be. Oops, wrong one. Backspace. I'll have to get rid of this one as well. Okay, just recap this area. Do a cut from here and up to here. There, that's a lot better. Although we do need this area now sorting out. Take this one away. Right, so that's the sharp angle there. See if we can get rid of it by just entirely getting rid of it. That leaves that one. I'll try and run a tangent from the tops of both of these if I can. Backspace that one off for the moment. There to about there. That's better. Okay, you see how that's taken, you know, a few minutes. However, it has sorted out a lot of our problems. Got so many redundant polygons in here that it's really not funny. Just cut this straight across here. That way it doesn't just end. Ye gods, look at those. Thing is, the actual area is working okay, so I don't really want to have to do much more with it. Let's smooth it out again. Better. Okay, so with that done, exit isolation mode, and we'll have our low polygon object in here that we can see. So we'll call this low side 201, so we know which one's which. And apply our basic dummy material to it. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is projection map this one. So we've got low side 2 already set up in our projection mapping system. I'm just going to pick this one. And as we see, it's already pushed out an envelope for us, which is pretty wonky over here. Okay, this isn't going to pick up this side piece very well at all, so reset. And I'm going to increase the push on it, just slowly. I don't want to increase it a load. I can manually increase it in other areas if I want to. And I'm really not worried anyway about the normal map being wrong on the inside of the toe, which is one of the most likely places to get a problem. Okay, they're fine. They're fine. Like I said before, I'm just looking for missing pieces that are going to cause a problem. Okay, these are all fine. So next, I'm going to add my segments I want. Diffuse, normal, but I'm not even going to bother with the specular or complete. Add those and make them big. Okay, what I'm going to do next is scroll down, make sure everything's all set up properly. I think my render should be set up the same as last time. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is going to create a new map, so I'll render it. It won't ask me if I want to overwrite. It'll just get on with it. Okay, there we go. Now then, what I'm going to do now is go into Adobe Photoshop and open my, let me see, low side toe. I'll just control and drag those into my edit folder. Right, now there's no normals and no diffuse in there. So, let's check on this. Did I turn on my projection mapping at all? Yes, I did. Make sure my object was picked, and it was. Everything's all set out the way it should be. Diffuse and normals. Existing channel. Save source. Okay, let's try that again. Right, so with our low polygon toe selected here, our low side toe, one of the problems we've got is that Mental Ray isn't going to do back-facing UVs, so we have to set this now to scanline. So this isn't really a problem, it's actually going to be a bit faster and it's going to use slightly less memory. Okay, so here's our default scanline, and I think I'll use something like a Catmull ROM, sorry, just because I like the name. Okay, so down here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add diffuse as well. Just a big old discussion about this with Schuster. And close this down. Right, I'm going to save my source. I'm going to click render, continue, overwrite, overwrite. This will take a moment or two. You'll see it just over here. Tiny bit of red going on, I think. We'll have a check of it in Adobe Photoshop in just a minute. File, open. And we want the side toe, which is this one and this one. Control and drag it into the edit. Okay, side toe, here we are. Open that. Whole world of blue in here, look at that, my word. Okay, what I'm going to do is put this onto, oh, that's ZBrush Central. I'm going to put this onto my 3dsmax model. So I'm going to get rid of my high poly one. Bye-bye. And stick an edit poly over the top of this. Right, material slot. Same as before, I've got this, so I'm going to make a unified texture. So open my, let's close that off. If I open my edit folder here and I open my normal map here and here. Now you'll notice this one's blue, which is kind of not doing me many favours, to be honest. What I'm going to do is re-render this one with a black background instead. So, normal map, element background, black. Okay, let's render that again. Let's give it a few seconds to do it. It's done. Okay, now open. And my normal map should be, yes, it's black and entirely red. Let's just slide that into my edit folder. Okay, so that don't look right either. But of course that's because I've just re-rendered it and I had my high polygon object missing. You know, I'm thinking to myself, why is that not working? It's normal mapping, absolutely nothing. Right, sorry about that. My own stupidity. Right, my normal map's still set to black. Let's re-render that. But you think to yourself, Chris, what are you normal mapping? It's been a long day. Bear with me. There we go. Right, keep that one there. Open. Side toe. Into the edit folder. Diffuse and normals are both there. Let's open our normal map. Okay, Control A, Control C, Control V, delete, flatten, file, save as, and I'm going to call this Unified Normals. Okay, so now if I go over here to my normal mapping area, I can change this to Unified Normals. And I can drag that across in just a moment. Let's also go into Photoshop here and get our diffuse. So I'm going to open the diffuse for low side toe diffuse and low poly toe diffuse here and here. Okay. And I'll save this as Unified Diffuse. Like so. Okay, now what I'm going to do is change my diffuse map here to my Unified Diffuse, and my normal map to my Unified Normals. Now, take my low poly object here, put an edit poly on top of it, and just apply that. And there we go. That's another one done. So I'll unhide all. Just wait a moment. So you can see our map's still correct. It's updated automatically on those ones there. And what I can do as well in my material is drag my unified to here. And as you can see, it's starting to work quite well. Okay, next we'll do the rear toe. So we'll do that in the next part. Till then, bye bye for now.